All right, let me see if I can't get this handled.
So for those of you just joining us, Eva is going to show you the pedagogy where we're implementing our tech tools, but we're also, let me somehow, there we go. But we're now going to integrate the scope and sequence that you guys are supposed to follow with all these tech tools, and Eva's going to walk you through that.
Well, hi, everyone. Like Melissa mentioned, my name is Eva Swiner. I am the manager of K-12 Math, Science, and STEM in the curriculum department. So some of you, like Sue, I have the pleasure of knowing, but some of you I'm meeting for the very first time. So I'm extremely happy to be here with you guys today. And like Melissa mentioned, you guys have had so much information thrown at you in the last, oh my goodness, 2 weeks. It's hard to believe that it's been 2 weeks. It feels like we've been at this forever now. But just as like a refresher, some of you have gotten a ton of information thrown at you and just you may be overwhelmed. So this is just a quick, easy way to kind of remind you of where some resources are for you as teachers, no matter what you teach and what grade level you teach. But also just tips and tricks to implementing this in your classrooms, because I know some of you are very, very familiar with Google Classroom and have been doing this even when you had kids in your rooms at your school site, but Google Classroom is new for some of you and you've never done anything like this before. So we're going to kind of go through some resources to help you with that. And to help you figure out what that could look like for you in your classroom, no matter your grade level, no matter your content area. So hopefully by now you guys have seen the instructional continuity support site. That's what's being shared with the public, as well as you guys, as well as students. And it's where you can access a lot of information regarding like daily instruction. That each team in the Department of Curriculum is actually launching lessons every single day, so that you guys don't have time in your schedule to create lessons every single day or to video yourselves kind of teaching every day. So it's there as a backup. If you want to pull the resources, that's what it's there for. So we're going to go through some of that and just how to maneuver the page, because you may not have had a chance to do so yet. So what you're looking at here on the screen is just my portal. So I've logged in as my portal. You're going to notice you have a new tile. It looks like this, the instructional continuity site. It's right there on the bottom left-hand side. So when you click that, that takes you to the entire instructional continuity support plan for the district. So this website is public facing, which means anyone with a login, whether that's a student, whether that's you guys, whether that's families using their kids' login, anyone can see this as long as they're on Palm Beach Schools, as long as they have a Palm Beach Schools email. If you don't have a Palm Beach Schools email, then you can't see this site. It's going to tell you that it's blocked if you can't access resources on here. Chances are it's probably because you're logged into Chrome on a personal email account instead of your Palm Beach Schools one. So that's always a good thing to know. The easy way you can check, see how I have my little person and my little face right up here. See how it says palmbeachschools.org? That tells you how you're logged into Chrome. So if you're going through sites and all of a sudden it won't let you open like a picture or a template or a document, double check that really fast, because your Chrome browser needs to say palmbeachschools.org in order for you to access this content. So if you're struggling, check that first. That's a really good quick tip to try, because I know we've had a lot of questions about that in the last week or so. So on this website, basically, this is our landing page. It kind of gives an overview of the plan itself. Something I want to show you that's really important on this main page is when you're like for students who are either having trouble accessing the portal, the multicultural department has created a whole list of YouTube videos for students. So I know some of like your kindergarten kids are really struggling to get into their portal because they might not know their email address. They might not know their student number. So there's a lot of really good information in that need help accessing the district portal link. You may also have students that just need help with schoolwork. So we have actually created a jot form that when it links, it takes you to a Google form. And then it allows the student to request help with their classwork. So let's say they're struggling with their homework on a topic and maybe you haven't had office hours that day and they really want to get it done before the next day, they can just jot their question in there and someone will answer it for them. So if they can't get a hold of you, there's always a backup plan. So let's go back to that site. One thing that I want to show you is that up here at the top, when you're using the scroll bar, it breaks all of the content out by grade level group. So we have our early childhood pre-K group, and that has like a suggested daily schedule. It has tools that help all learners, so like Google Translate for our students that are learning English as a different language, or maybe have families that don't necessarily speak English. It shows you how to add Google Chrome to your Chrome browser, so it'll translate almost everything for you. And also Read Aloud. Read Aloud is another extension that you can add to Chrome. So whatever text is on your screen, it literally reads it aloud for your kids. So if we've got scenarios at home, we know that sometimes older siblings are taking care of the kids while the parents are at work, or they just need some quiet times. That Read Aloud option is going to be super helpful for our younger kids or for our language learners in having that text read for them. So this is our early childhood pre-K site. So it's got a ton of different day-by-day lessons, links to national parks where you can take virtual field trips, links to books that we've gotten consent from the publisher to share within this website only. So lots of really good stuff on the pre-K site. When you go to K-5, it's broken out by content area. So one of the new things that we're adding on here is we've actually translated for students that are brand new. Maybe they haven't used Success Maker in the classroom and they're having trouble logging in. Multicultural has translated how to get logged in for all of our students if that's brand new content for them. You're also going to see it broken out for math K-5. So all of these, yes, there is stuff for ESE students. That's kind of what I'm getting to right now. I'm so happy that you asked that question. So when you're looking at this is kind of like a tentative scope, a day-by-day plan. You can pull any of these resources. And I'm going to show you how in your Google Classroom, how you link that. But any of these resources are for you to pull out and use in your Google Classroom. So when you click on instructional video, it'll open up a YouTube link and it actually creates a day-by-day lesson that's Mickey, if you guys know kindergarten math, Mickey Bannock, our program planner for elementary math. They're daily lessons that literally walk the kid through a lesson so that you can embed this into your classroom page so that you don't have to teach from scratch. So it walks them through one of their Pearson Realize lessons down to if they have access to the book at home, they can actually do their practice work right there in their student text. And then it also has that fun at home connection to where if parents are there with them or they have a sibling there with them, how they do this content with someone at their home to bring that learning to life. So like I said, you can actually snag this video, throw it right back into your Google Classroom, and it takes one big chunk of time in planning that you have to do and taking some of that load away. For our dual language schools, we have a dual language link right here. It does the same thing, the same exact video, translated for you into Spanish. And then additional practice resources. You're going to notice for our ESE kids, this whole column on the right is all videos that have been put together by our ESE department for that exact lesson. So it targets specifically those access point standards so that your ESE students that may need some of that support that may not be there in those regular lessons, all of that is there for them. So every single lesson that the curriculum department has created that has access point standards is there for them. And again, you can take all of that and embed those links into your Google Classroom. Every single content area page is pretty much the same. So we've got elementary, K-5, we've got mathematics, literacy, science, social studies. We even have our electives. So you're going to notice we've got PE. So daily activities that kids can go through to be able to engage in those PE activities. So like it's got Go Noodle stuff in there. It's got popsicle warm-ups, beanbag activities, just stuff that they can do around the house to get them up and moving, to break up their day and give them some semblance of normalcy, right? Like they're kind of upheaved. They need to figure out what's going on. So the more they see that is close to what they've seen in the classroom, really the better that they're going to feel. Oh, thank you, Michael, for adding that. Yes, if the student doesn't have the math textbook at home, you can post the math page as a PDF in Google Classroom. Good tip. Definitely, that is a great thing to share. Learning strategies for high school? Yes, there are. We just haven't gotten there yet. We are slowly moving through this. But yes, there's a ton of stuff there for high school as well. So we've got PE on this page. K2, and then split out 3-5 for our gifted students. There's enrichment resources that are going to help support them, and scaffold instruction for them and just give them that enrichment that they need. Our SEL time, so for those students that are doing morning meetings or just need growth mindset work, all of that stuff is there for them. We've got STEM resources and things to do at home for our STEM schools. We've got AVID strategies, and for our AVID elective teachers, not in elementary, but in our secondary schools, there's actually daily lessons for AVID elective teachers and arts. So we've got visual arts and we have music education. So again, all of the things that you would do in your normal day can all get popped into your Google Classroom or your school's Google Classroom for your students. So I know I just saw a question pop up, so I'm trying to go back to that really quick, sorry. Yes, we have science scope stuff too. So let's go back and I'll show you where that is. So for our K5 science page, when you go to that landing page, how to access your digital text. If you're struggling with how to get logged in, that goes through step by step how to get that digital text logged in. And it also has, if you go onto the kindergarten site, how to access student resources. Oh, my screen just died. Do you guys still see me or did it all go black?
Nope, we can still see everything you're doing.
Oh, okay, perfect, because I can't right now.
And we can hear you too.
All right, let's move this over and see if I can see, because right now I can't maneuver, which makes it super difficult.
So she got to science, Patricia. She went to elementary K5 and she dropped it down to where it said elementary science. And that's what you're seeing right now on your screen.
All right. So
I just have to say that while she's trying to figure out her screen thing, I literally called Eva at, what was it, like 9 o'clock this morning and said, hey, what are you doing? You want to hop on? And she said, sure. And here she is, and she's, oh my God, the information you're sharing is, I think we all had an idea that you all made a page, but the amount of content and the amount of information on here is phenomenal. And I love the way it's broken down because for, us out here in the world trying to figure out what to teach when, it's easy to find what you need where. So I thank you all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
It looks great. And
All
it's
right, so
pretty. I really
now?
like the elementary pages too. Or maybe it was early childhood, the little hands. It's adorable.
Yes, they've done, all these teams are just absolutely amazing, and the stuff that they've pulled together for you guys. I am just completely baffled by how all of these teams have really made this work in such a short amount of time. They really are just absolute rock stars. My page is locked, so I'm going to stop presenting and then go back one more time.
Okay.
Just so I can get back to where we are, because otherwise I don't know how to find it.
No
All right,
worries.
so now you should see me. So we're back on elementary science, right?
Nope, we're still on your head.
Oh, you're still on my head?
Yep.
Oh.
Wait,
Well,
maybe
that's not good.
I have to choose. It should automatically do it.
It should. Are you still seeing?
And I just have to say, we had 50 people on so far that I've seen. And this is the smallest group we've had so far. So I'm wondering what EdTech's doing that stole the crowd. But also the topic today was a lot of things people know. So there you go. Now you're presenting. You're good.
Yay!
We're back.
Okay, so Melissa, if you can just chime out those chats, because now I have to do it on one screen instead of having it on two, so I can't read those simultaneously. That would be great.
I heard STEM Scopes has a training right now.
All right. So I know I saw something about writing. Yeah? Elementary writing? Was that something I saw?
Cheryl, come to office hours in elementary. Okay. No, I don't.
Yes, they wanted to know where the writing was on the continuity website for elementary.
Yep. So what the elementary team has done is day by day lessons. You're going to notice have specific standards in the writing when they actually get to the lessons themselves. So like, let's say if this is, it depends on the lesson that you're looking at. So for example, for this elementary literacy one, when you click on these English lessons, that's like an actual teaching lesson that they're doing, done by the elementary literacy team. So each day has a writing component, or specific lessons are built like totally functioning on that writing standard. So it may not be in every single lesson, but it's embedded into those lessons. So they're not going to have a specific writing lesson per se, but they will have sometimes in the practice and additional resources some writing components, or it's in that video in that daily lesson piece. It tells them, hey, we're going to do this writing activity about today's lesson or about today's learning. So it's embedded right there in there for you. You're not going to see them broken out into specific ones for the most part, at least not the ones that I've seen so far. All right, so let's go to middle school. Middle school is built the exact same way. We have daily schedules. We have the broadcast just the same way as we do in elementary, and then we've got it broken out by content level pages. So again, math, science, social studies, ELA, electives, same as what I just showed you in elementary. All of that stuff is broken out. Arts, PE, SEL, gifted, avid elective, all of that stuff is all in there for you. One of the things that we're getting ready to add right now to all of our content level pages, elementary included, is we are going to start offering student office hours. So if they can't get a hold of you, that jot form isn't working, they still need some help, we're going to start doing Google Meets just like this, certain hours of certain days by grade level for them. So we're going to add a link to the virtual meeting right here when this actually goes live so that they just have options. Because again, this is really hard for them.
That's
so
awesome.
We are in math right now.
We have one question, Eva.
Sure, go for it.
When will the following week be added? How far ahead are you guys?
We're doing it a week in advance. So week 1, which obviously starts Tuesday, is up and running. Some content areas have already populated their weeks 2. Here's math. Math has week 2 going. I know elementary science has from now until the 15th already done and posted. So we're working through this content as fast as we can because we're creating this and all of those videos simultaneously. So we're trying our hardest to get them out a week in advance for you guys so that you all have enough time to do some planning, grabbing the resources, vetting them yourself, putting them in your classroom so that you guys have time to do the planning that you guys need. So we're shooting for a week in advance.
Which means most of them aren't sleeping. So
no.
Thank you from all of us. We can't thank you enough for the content that you guys are providing.
Oh, thanks. We appreciate it.
It's invaluable.
All right, so high school math, all the same stuff. We also have our AP information and ACE Cambridge information for anyone who has students that are taking AP and ACE classes. So we're adding all of that content almost daily, every time we see it, to be able to keep the most up-to-date information. The last page I want to show you is where I think has one of the coolest things that I found today that I am so happy that is there and that we can offer it for teachers is we have our digital tools page. A lot of this information is mirrored and copied from collaborations that we've done with EdTech. See, we have the link to their EdTech training resources site right there for you guys. We also have a doc that shows you how to take everything that's in those lessons and put them into your Google Classroom step by step. So it literally tells you, grab the link from the top of the screen. You're going to put that in the materials page in your Google Classroom. And so every single link that's in any of those lessons walks you step by step through how to put that into your own Google Classroom to share with your kids. We also have a site, because remember, this site is public facing. So students can see it, parents can see it, families can see it. Anyone with Palm Beach schools can see it. So we created a teacher support site that is made just for you all. That again has additional information just for you guys. So again, we've got that EdTech training team website. We're always trying to work on collaborations because they've got a ton of great ideas. So that's on there for you. But when you start breaking out, it's built kind of the same way. So you're going to see K-5 elementary, middle, high school. I know middle school science really well, so we're just going to go there. We have office hours for you guys. So as you get asked questions about, like, let's say your content, how to do Google Classroom stuff that's specific to teaching, all of that stuff, we have office hours for you. They've already been going on this week, and we're going to continue that on in like PLC work. And then we have a bunch of other resource lists. Some content areas have them right now. Other ones are still in the works. But brand new information to help you guys in doing that pedagogy piece. So for example, great new resources from Google. How do you teach from home? How do you get your classroom up and running? Resources to like Newsella, Legends of Learning, webinars on how to do distance learning just from STEM scopes. If you're going to create videos, how do you create videos in Screencastify? Flipgrid is probably one of my favorite tools for getting digital interaction happening in a classroom. If you haven't seen Flipgrid, you have to check it out. Flipgrid allows you to record a video, post it to your kids, and then have your kids take a video of themselves back and answer you. So it's almost like having you there. They get to see your face because they miss you, just as I know you miss them. Well, some of them. And you get to see them, and you can actually hear them talk, which is super fun.
Okay, I got a couple questions.
Sure, go for it.
So will there be resources for high school intensive reading or middle school intensive reading? She noticed that there was a high school ELA, but not intensive reading or middle school intensive reading.
Yeah. Check out right down here. So if you go, this is the teacher support site. So if you go to the high school school page, there is a high school ESE page under the teacher support site and a high school intensive reading teacher support site. As of right now, I don't believe they've developed daily lessons.
I lost you, Eva. I can't hear you.
Because each of the teams are... You can't hear me?
Nope, you're back now.
Oh, it's buffering.
Okay.
Yeah, it was buffering. Sorry.
No
Wi-Fi's amazing. High school intensive reading, I don't believe, has created daily lesson plans. But we do have stuff on the teacher support site for intensive reading. So they're doing their Google office hours for questions for you all. And then I believe they're going to be populating a resource list like the other content areas as well. I just don't believe they have yet.
Okay. Access points for lessons for high school. Do we have that?
Yep, same as before. So when you go to your lesson plan pages, as long as the course offers access point standards, so we're going to pull up Algebra 1 as soon as it's done buffering and populates. Right here, access points on the right-hand side of every single lesson. They've got access point standards at all levels, elementary, middle, and high. If there is an access point standard or if there is an access point course, every single one of those is linked on a daily lesson.
Perfect.
What else do you have for me?
Will high school learning strategies lessons be under ESE or electives?
Probably both. We've done both. So when you're going through, let's see, I want to say under the electives page in high school, let's wait for it to buffer. ESE was currently working on doing a page just like this, where they have their own resources, kind of like you see what, like for gifted, they were adding their own component down here. I don't think they've added it just yet. I'm just double checking. No, it's not there. But when you go back to that teacher page, like I was talking about, that teacher support page, that those lessons or those links are supposed to be hiding out right under here as soon as they get them all finished.
Perfect. Holly put, I don't see middle school. I think she was talking about the intensive reading.
Middle school intensive reading is under the teacher support site.
Perfect. That's all my questions.
All right.
Anything else?
Well,
you
was
are
there anything
a
else
wealth
that
of
you guys are thinking
information. And we are on a meet, so if anybody has more questions, feel free to turn your mic on and ask.
I can go ahead and stop sharing.
Anybody?
I had a question.
Yeah.
I know Eva was going to just show us how to link it up to Google Classroom, like any lesson.
Mm-hmm.
How would you go about doing that?
Oh, sure. I'll go, let me go back and present again.
Thanks.
Sure, not a problem. And it really doesn't want to share anymore.
No.
And we talked about this yesterday, about how technology is always changing and not always compliant with what we want it to do. But our kids are not always compliant with what we want them to do either. So just like kids, when we have to redirect and move on, we figure out something to say to make the silence stop, and we keep talking and moving while Eva figures out how to finesse her computer into screen sharing for you. And I do know that on that website, she said for the teacher support, there was a document that fully explained how to add any lesson to Google Classroom.
Oh, okay.
So we can always go back to that specific document and walk ourselves through it.
Sharing. It is like, it is denying all the access. But Melissa, if you actually share yours, if you have the ability to, I can walk you through how to get there.
Yeah,
and
sure.
We can do it that way if you want to do that. But so just like Melissa mentioned, it's on the Instructional Continuity Support site page. So on that, where you got that tile that takes you to the plan, the very last tab on the top toolbar says Digital Tools. So when you go to Digital Tools, you're going to scroll down a little bit and you're going to see a section that says For Teachers. It's the very last thing right now on that For Teachers list. It says Linking Support Site Lessons to your Google Classroom. You just click on that, and it takes you right to it.
So the question was, I'm slowly loading. I don't know if you can see my screen.
I can, yeah.
The instructional support page. And then on here you said there's a teacher.
Digital Tools. Go to Digital Tools.
Down, up.
On the toolbar on the top, see how you have elementary, middle, high, Digital Tools?
Sorry.
Perfect. So go to Digital Tools. And as soon as it buffers for you, you're going to scroll down just a little bit past the pretty documents for Meet and for Google Classroom.
I stole some of your stuff just so you know it's on my page too.
Aww.
I asked Alex permission for some. Here's the teacher support site.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Right there at the bottom, linking for teacher support. Yeah, so that'll walk you through how you can steal anything on those lesson plan pages and embed that right into your own Google Classroom for your kids.
Thank you.
You got it.
Oh, it was back on that other page. Is that what you're telling me? I took him to the teacher support page. Linking your lessons to Google Classroom. Gotcha.
Yep, you got it.
Okay, Holly, I think, had a question. About the virtual meetings for students. Where's the teacher support on the search bar about the virtual meetings? I found it. Thanks so much. That was not her though. Thank you. I made a copy for myself. So Holly, I'm not sure the virtual meetings for students. What's your question?
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah,
yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, fine. Okay, I had a hard time getting the microphone on. Okay, so when in the page where the kids can go, it has a link to the virtual meetings. Are they? Well, I guess my question is, how do you monitor that they're going through those meetings? And is that the class lesson, or do the kids have to go to the teacher's lessons also?
So those virtual meetings are purely like Q&A sessions if a kid's struggling to like do their homework or they don't understand a lesson. It's not us teaching. So my understanding right now is that you guys in the Google Classrooms that you've developed, that's the primary source of instruction for them. so that they have a semblance of normalcy. They know you, they connect with you, they're used to how you teach and share resources. So it's all about you guys. Those other Google Meets for students is just, let's say they're doing their homework, it's late at night, and they're really struggling, but they want to turn in their work before they see you next day. Let's say one of those Google Meets happens to take place, or those office hours happen to take place before their homework is due, and they can't get the question either from a peer or from you. If they can't do that, then it's just a backup for them. It's really, you guys are really the source of the instruction. We're just here to help you. Let's say if one of you guys gets sick and you can't teach a class, we're just always trying to make sure that you guys have whatever you need so that you feel successful in what you're doing. We're just the backup plan for you.
Okay, what if the lesson that the teacher is teaching is different from the online lesson? Will the student still be able to get?
Can you say that one more time? You cut out at the very end.
Okay, what if the lesson that the teacher is teaching is different from what the district is proposing? Like if it's not.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. They're more, if it's about math, then we can answer a math question. So each virtual meeting is being manned by a person on our content team that is comfortable with that content. So let's say you've got a kid in calculus, we've got a person that knows how to do calculus. So if they have a question about the math, whether it's this lesson or something that you've linked, it's really about how do you do the math. ELA might be a little bit harder if they're reading a text. I don't quite know how that would work. I tend to be a math and science person, not an ELA person. So I figure if they haven't read the book, they might not be able to answer fully. But if it's about just content, like content itself, we should be good, and it shouldn't matter whether or not you're following what's on there or not. Does that make sense?
Yes. It's kind of like a helpline or a tutoring line in a way.
Yes, perfect. That's a great analogy. Yep, that's exactly right.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Any other questions? So Sue Bailey asked a great one. She said it's more of like an IT question. If families are having trouble with the technology, should they call the service desk? What should they do? Yes, the service desk is awesome. I don't know if anybody can type that number in the chat window. I don't know it off the top of my head. But the service desk is troubleshooting via screen sharing and what have you. But they're also, if needed, going to service your computers either by meeting at a school site or potentially coming to your home. So they are phenomenal. So if anyone needs that, just go ahead and contact the service desk, 561-242-4100. All three of you, Stephanie, everybody is typing it in real quick. Thank you. I knew it was 242, but I forgot the last part. So 242-4100, and they will help fix your device for you. So that's a great resource to have. Anything else? Well, stay healthy, stay safe. Don't go crazy in your house. Get some exercise and fresh air. And this is the end of my webinar series, but I will be adding more and more to my website as time goes on. So please keep checking. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for everybody, especially Eva, for hopping on last second. Thank you, Mike and Michael and Lisa for helping with the back channel, and Kimberly, and wow. Thank you guys. We've averaged about 800 people watching these a day, which is huge. So really excited about that. And it's your word of mouth and everything else that made it